One of the benefits of the all strategy access is you get access to new strategies. These are not going to be in the portfolio, but they are new strategies that you could trade in addition to the portfolio. These are going to be released in Tradestation first, and they may make it to the portfolio later, but I want to go over these strategies. This is one that I've been looking at, wished I would have traded today and have not. Really called this nice reversal. Long here in the morning, reversed here in the evening. It's a very aggressive momentum strategy. It has its roots from over 15 years ago. And during low volatility, low interest rate time period, this strategy didn't work too well. But in recent years, since the beginning of 2018, here is what this equity curve looks like. And what this is doing is it's trading the E-mini NASDAQ based on the ES. And so if you think about it, the ES, the NASDAQ moves further, but a breakout on the ES would be more, could be more well defined, and then the momentum in the NASDAQ would carry the trade further. So you see this strategy set up here. It's very aggressive, and you know it has its drawdowns, 94, 95 in the NASDAQ. That's the normal, and you can trade the micros these days and get less drawdown, but with this kind of range, there's just some wild range and some pretty wicked reversal up here at 11.525 with no stimulus deal, post-election trade. And so this is an EVP, and those initials are electronic volume pattern. And this kind of strategy was developed a long time ago when we were transitioning from the pit market to the electronic market, because you can't track volume on bars in the pit market. So back in the day, you don't see the volume on the intraday bars, but you do on the electronic, and so you can use that to help you trade. If I click on this bar, you see up volume and down volume. You don't see that on the pit market. So and so that's EVP. That's one. Also in gold, taking a look at this in gold. Actually, took the gold strategy and moved it over to the NQ, and that's how I came up with that. Because I've mainly traded this in the commodities. And so in gold, it works back to 10/1/2017 really well. A lot more volatility in gold this year, pretty low drawdown. And in this version of it, you see this, a slightly different version of it, 31.30, 92.74 average trade profit. These are all without slippage and commission. And here's an NQ morning breakout. It's a little different than the current breakout strategy that we have, and it's within the first couple of hours, kind of similar to gap continuation but different. And so here's what it looks like. It's recently had a drawdown, so good time to start trading this strategy. And this is since the beginning of 2017. So tick wave is another one, kind of a sideways equity curve here recently. So some of these are at equity peaks, and some of these are kind of pulled back from their equity peaks. And so this is in on a good trade today. It's still up on the day. We'll see if this thing completely reverses. Interesting price action. You have the fantasy bull market that wants to continue, and then you have the sellers that are looking at reality. And then VIX on close. We recently talked about VIX. And going back to 2001, this tests well. This is a new strategy that I've developed based on some of our recent discussions. I've never had a strategy where I trade the market on the close based on the VIX relationships with price, and this does that. This is a VIX on close strategy, and it actually doesn't trade on the close. I decided not to make it trade on. It hasn't traded recently, but it starts trading in the after hours based on the relationship at the close, and so it's a 24-hour session. But it trades, it exits, it doesn't hold the position past during a closing period. So if the market closes at 1700. Then it's going to exit by 1600. So it's going to be 23 hours at the most. And VSD breakout, volume sum day, very aggressive breakout strategy based on this volume sum day indicator, trying to determine the trend. And you see the trades on today, and momentum in this market has some really nice gains here since mid 2018. So some of these strategies only worked the last few years with the higher volatility in the markets, while some of them test back further. Here's Viper from 2008, which is basically Cobra 1. And you see that this right here, actually tried to adjust this based on VIX, but I haven't found a good way to trade this based on VIX. And so these are some of the results for Viper. You can see the trade today. It's down kind of like Cobra 3. And so these are some of the strategies I'm going to be sending out to you. If you have the all strategy access for Tradestation, it will take some time to get them potentially in NinjaTrader or multi-charts, but they are not really part of the portfolios yet. So there are additional bonuses right now for Tradestation, and if they make it to the portfolios, I could add them to other portfolios as well, or and other platforms as well. So that's the update that I wanted to share with you. I'm excited about Q4 starting tomorrow. Really choppy day. We'll go over the final results of the day at the close here in about 30 minutes.